Hello and welcome to our online class of social science. Today we will discuss our geography chapter, major landforms of the earth. In this chapter, let's discuss the content of this chapter step by step. Here is the content that we will discuss. The major landforms which are on the earth's surface like plateaus, mountains, plains, then landforms and the people. These are the contents of this chapter. Here you can see these are the landforms where you can see the mountains and rivers and plains and plateaus. So I will explain these movements step by step. First of all, here it is very important to understand that earth is made up of plates. It is made up of tectonic plates. Earlier there was one plate which was divided into 7 tectonic plates, and these tectonic plates are having movement. Sometimes these are coming closer to each other, means which is considered as a convergent movement, and sometimes these plates are going away from each other, means this is known as divergent movement. Although this movement is not taking place in a minute or hour, it may take millions of years. You might have heard that earlier you can say there was Tethys Sea in place of northern part of our country India. Meanwhile, this plate came towards northern territories and it joined in the form of this Himalayan mountain. So these movements are taking place on the earth's surface because of some forces. Some forces are taking place inside the earth as well as outside the earth. So the forces which are taking place inside the earth is known as endogenic forces. Endogenic forces means the movement or the forces means which is changing the landform. Landform here it refers that earlier it was plain, it may be converted into the mountainous form. Mountain form it may be converted into the plateau form because of the internal movement. Endogenic forces are earthquakes, volcanic eruption, etc. Whereas exogenic forces are those forces which are taking place on the earth's surface in the form of tornado, cyclones, etc. So let's see these points. Internal process which leads to the upliftment and sinking of the earth's surface. Internal means inside the earth's surface these movements are taking place, and external process means this is the continuous process which is happening on the earth's surface in the form of wearing down of the earth plate and rebuilding of the surface in the form of depositional activity, just like flood plain is one of the example of this. Here we have one terminology, erosion. Erosion refers to the wearing away of the earth's surface by the agents like river water, by wind, by sunlight. So the surface is being lowered by the process of erosion and it is rebuilt by the process of deposition. These processes are carried out by the agents water, ice, wind. These are three agents. These are very important for the changing of the landforms or the outer surface area. These different landforms are depending on the elevation of the area, slopes and others. So let's see first mountain. What is mountain? First of all, we have to understand that any natural elevation here it refers height of the earth's surface is known as mountain. It may be small, it may have a small summit, means a peak, or a broad base on the top. Okay, these are considered higher than the surrounding areas. Some mountains are higher than cloud areas also, means you may feel that these are touching the clouds in some areas. Most of the time in polar regions or in some areas these mountains are covered with the ice caps. That's why these are rich in water. Okay, they are having frozen river of ice which is generally called glacier. Here you can see in this slide. Range, a continuous chain of the mountain is called range. You may say that Himalayan mountain range, Rockies mountain range, Andes mountain range. The longest mountain range is Andes in South America. Here we have some types of mountains. There are three types of mountains. One is fold mountain, second one is block mountain, and the third one is volcanic mountain. The Himalayan mountain and Alps, these are the young fold mountains. These are, and the Aravalli range in the India is considered as the oldest fold mountain range. So the range has considerably worn down due to the process of the erosion. Appalachians in North America and Ural mountain of Russia means they are having low elevation. They are very old fold mountains. The second one is block mountain. Generally these are created when large areas are broken or displaced vertically. Immediately means one part of the mountain that goes down under the earth's surface. The uplifted blocks are known as horst, and the lower blocks are known as graben. So the Rhine Valley and Vosges mountains in Europe are the example of these mountains. Third one is the volcanic mountain. Volcanic mountain, here it refers that which are formed by the volcanic activity. Mount Kilimanjaro in South Africa and Mount Fujiyama in Japan are some of the examples of these mountains. Here is one fact, you may be surprised that Mauna Kea, M-A-U-N-A, Mauna Kea, K-E-A, it is also known as Hawaii, in the Pacific Ocean, is an undersea mountain. It is higher than the Mount Everest. Its height is approximately 10,205 meters height, but it is under the water. Here we have some needs of the mountain, or some of the benefits of the mountain, why these mountains are useful to us. So you may say that these are the storehouses of the water. Many rivers are flowing from these mountains. These are the sources of the water. We can get forests or the firewood or timber from these mountainous regions. We can get fuel from the mountains. We can get fodder from the mountains for our animals. Mountains give us shelter. These are the habitats of some of the flora and fauna, plants and for the wild animals, and even the human being, people are living in these mountainous region. Next one is plateau. Plateau refers to an elevated flat land or the table land which is generally not having a narrow strip, narrow summit or the peak. This is a flat land. You may construct your houses, you may live in those areas, even agriculture is also possible. This Deccan Plateau, southern part of India, is formed by the volcanic eruptions, and when volcano erupts in any of the particular area, so after cooling down of that volcanic lava, it takes the formation of plateau. So a plateau may have one or more than one side. It may have steep slopes. Generally the height of these plateaus are varying from place to place. Plateaus like mountains may be young or old. Deccan Plateau is one of the oldest plateau in the world. The East African Plateau in Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda are and the Western Plateau of Australia are the examples. Tibet Plateau is the highest plateau in the world. Here you can see Tibet Plateau is the highest plateau in the world, and with a height of 4,000 to 6,000 meter above the sea level. And these are rich in mineral deposits. These are world's mining areas are located in plateau region. As you can see that in our country also, means we are having iron ore and other mining areas in the plateau region like Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh and Chota Nagpur region. Then we have plains. Next, landform. These are the low lying areas or the flat stretches. Generally this region of Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, all these regions which are considered as Ganga Brahmaputra basin region, means these are plain regions, low lying areas. Very means in these areas the top of the surface is not rugged, it is flat. These are very fertile. It's very easy to live in these areas, to construct the road. It is very easy to establish factories. It is very easy to have the communication system in these areas. People may move by the transportation in these areas easily. The soil of these areas is also fertile because these areas are generally formed by the sediments carried by the river from the oceanic from the rivers, from the mountainous regions, because they erode the rocks in the mountains, and those sediments or small particles are very fertile, which are used to grow the crop. So this Ganga Brahmaputra plain is one of the a fertile plain, having the Sundarban delta also. Sundarban delta is considered as the largest delta in the world. Sundari trees are found in this area. So human habitation, that is easily possible in plain areas. Here landforms and the people. Landforms and the people, here it refers that these landforms are varying or having different shapes and designs because of the internal and external processes of the earth surface. Human settlements depend on the different types of major landforms. If it is a plain area, people can live easily. Density of population in those areas is high, and people, they establish their factories, they construct roads, and transportation is easy, communication is easy. Means these areas are considered as good habitation for the people. Mountainous regions, in mountainous regions it is very difficult to live in those regions. That's why these regions are having less number of population. And the plateau regions are rich source of minerals, although life is possible in those areas, and most of the minerals are obtained from these plateaus because these are made up of the lava or the magma which comes after the volcanic eruption. So these are rich source of the minerals. So you can write down all the important points in your notebook. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.